Hi, Sealclops from Sealclops Book Reviews here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Birthday Girl, written by Penelope Douglas. Enjoy! Birthday Girl, written by Penelope Douglas. This is a standalone book that is about romance, age gap, contemporary, that sort of thing. I read the ebook version instead of purchasing the book because I was sort of on the fence about if I'd like it or not. Before I actually bought it and tried to fit it in my bookshelves that are getting a bit overfull. So, this is my review. Genre/trope. So there's romance, age gap, adult, forced proximity, and contemporary are the main ones that's really stood out to me, I guess. A bit about the book. As far as age gap romance books go, this one definitely falls under that category. With a 19-year difference between the main love interests, this is probably one of the largest gaps I've come across in a book. Although there's a large gap between their ages, it does not seem dirty or forced in any way. The girl is an old soul and seems to have more in common with the love interest than with her previous boyfriend, who is the same age as her. And how does it match up to my expectations of the genre? So my main expectation before diving into this book was to read a story about a girl who fell for her ex-boyfriend's father, who was considerably older than herself. And yeah, that is exactly the plot of this book. So, the summary. Jordan. He took me in when I had nowhere else to go. He doesn't use me, hurt me, or forget about me. He listens to me, protects me, and sees me. I can feel his eyes on me over the breakfast table, and my heart pumps so hard when I hear him pull in the driveway after work. I have to stop this. It can't happen. My sister once told me there are no good men, and if you find one, he's probably unavailable. Only Pike Lawson isn't the unavailable one. I am. Pike. I took her in because I thought I was helping. As the days go by though, it's becoming anything but easy. I have to stop my mind from drifting to her and stop holding my breath every time I bump into her in the house. I can't touch her, and I shouldn't want to. But we're not free to give in to this. She's 19 and I'm 38. And her boyfriend's father. Unfortunately, they both just moved into my house. Plot and theme. Getting off work early on her 19th birthday and unable to reach her boyfriend to pick her up, Jordan treats herself to a midnight movie screening at the Retro Theatre to celebrate. Spilling her wine and dropping her phone, she finds herself drawn into an easy conversation with a mysterious older guy who seems to understand her effortlessly. Drawn to this stranger, but already in a relationship, they part ways hoping to run into one another in the future, only for the man to overhear Jordan get a call to pick up her boyfriend from lockup. Her boyfriend is this stranger's son. She is suddenly left homeless, looking after her deadbeat boyfriend who can't seem to keep a job. The only option left for them is to move into Cole's father's house until they can get back on their feet. But as time goes by, Jordan and Pike become increasingly close while Cole is nowhere to be found. What comes next is a story of confusion, longing, and finally love between two kindred spirits. Yes, okay, I put warning spoilers ahead, which I always warn for potential spoilers when I'm writing these reviews, but I really gave a lot away in the next few slides because I had strong feelings and thoughts about it, and I just sort of needed to get it all out. So, yeah, this is going to give a lot away. So just keep that in mind. If you want to stop listening or watching or skip to the end, now's a good time to do it. I forgot how much I wrote. Okay, pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. This was not a bad book. The characters just rubbed me the wrong way. Let's move my little screen so I can read this. So starting with the boyfriend, Cole. He is a spoilt deadbeat who relies on others to look after him and get him out of any situation. He is constantly losing jobs simply because he does not show up. He prefers to spend the time out drinking with his buddies and giving himself hangovers. He cannot afford to pay his bills, but knows that Jordan will pick up the slack when he falls behind. He even gets them kicked out of their apartment building. He tries to turn his behaviour back on Jordan by saying that she makes him feel unworthy of her, and that is why he doesn't spend time with her, eventually even cheating on her. His behaviour is explained away by an accident that took place a few years earlier, which killed his and Jordan's close friend. Since the accident, he has been in a downward spiral, needing time to recover. What is not mentioned is how this also affects Jordan. They were a group of 3. Why does Cole get to self-destruct and not Jordan? It even mentions that Jordan was even closer to this guy that passed away, so, you know. Next up is Jordan. She has had to grow up fast, living with family who do not care for her in the slightest. She works hard and takes care of those she is close to, overlooking many of Cole's faults, simply because they were friends before they began dating. She is prideful, but unfortunately takes it a bit too far. Throughout the book, she finds herself in difficult situations, refusing to ask for help. In one chapter, Jordan finds herself stranded at the dive bar she works at. She refuses to ask Pike for a lift home, even when he calls to see if she is okay. She ends up spending the night sleeping on the billiard table, lying about where she was. Lastly, the relationship between Pike and Jordan. It is clear that they work well together and have feelings for one another. That is not the issue. The issue is the lack of communication and understanding between them. Their relationship is unconventional, Pike being literally twice Jordan's age, but when it comes to making their relationship known, they both handle the situation very poorly. So this just annoyed the hell out of me. One night after Jordan and Cole have split up due to Cole cheating, and a few weeks into Jordan and Pike's new relationship, Cole and his mum need a place to stay for a night. Jordan has her own bedroom in the house as she technically rents the space, although she has been spending the nights with Pike recently. Cole's mother, a manipulative woman, demands to stay in Jordan's room for the night, essentially kicking out Jordan and telling her to sleep in bed with Cole as they are both adults. Pike does the right thing and defends her right to her room. He has made up the couch for Cole's mum, and Cole has his old room. Jordan, however, wants Pike to share that they are together. This is not a fair situation to put Pike in. Yes, he has been dragging his feet and telling Cole, but he shouldn't have to spring it on him in front of his cruel ex, just so that Jordan can spend the night in his bed. It was very much like ultimatum, and it was just not the right time, and it was annoying how she was like, do this or I'm leaving. So instead of talking about this like adults, Jordan takes off. She is upset that he wouldn't share his relationship when put under pressure, and instead takes off to an unknown location for months on end, ignoring her messages. It is just so frustrating. She gave him an unfair ultimatum. Then again, he wanted to keep Rosie's dirty little secret and refused to look to the future. So they're both in the wrong, in my opinion. However, I get it's hard to tell your son that you're dating his ex, but he shouldn't have been forced to tell him and his ex, who has done nothing but manipulate him and tell lies about him and pretty much try and turn everyone against him, just because, Jordan wanted to be able to sleep in his bed instead of on the couch or in her room. So, yeah, I had a huge issue with that part of the book. A little bit about the main characters. So Jordan, she's 19 years old, she's an old soul, loves anything to do with the 1980s, grew up tough, has no one that cares for her, always looked after others over herself. And then we have Pike, 38 years old, owns his own construction business, had to grow up fast, puts his son above all else, too giving, and has trouble doing things for himself. The recommendation. So Penelope Douglas wrote an enjoyable and easy to read age gap romance book. I liked the plot and enjoyed the happily ever after at the end, however felt that the characters needed some more work to really make them relatable. If the characters just spoke to each other instead of running away whenever things got tough, this book would have been a lot better. It probably would have been a lot shorter too, but that's beside the point. My review, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I feel like that was a bit generous, seeing as how much it annoyed me, but then I also did like the plot still. So although a good story, I felt the characters lacked some emotional depth that would have heightened the appeal. And there we have it. That is my review on Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Overall, I'm a bit disappointed because It was all the rage for so long. I put it off because I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it, and I needed to be in the mood to read this sort of book. And although the plot was good, the overall story felt like a bit of a letdown. So that is just my opinion. Tell me what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye.